Tom Silva has been keeping this ancient home together for more than 40 years. Sleeves rolled up, tool belt on, work, no show. However, at the age of 77, he recently shared the moments that the majority of viewers missed. There were times when he almost left the show completely. Aww. And don't assume it's just another hint at retirement. Tom's revelation wasn't made only to attract media attention. It was a reflection of all the things he had endured. Not only during construction, but also behind the scenes where conditions haven't always been as ideal as the remodeled houses we've seen him construct. Years ago, Tom almost left, but it wasn't because he was worn out or finished. Quite the opposite. The reason for this was that the show's creative direction had begun to deviate from the realities of the set, the production schedule, the ongoing camera angle modifications, and the pressure to make things seem good rather than be good. All of it ran against to his beliefs. So he wrote a letter of resignation in secret. It was genuine enough that he sat down with his family and gave life after this old house some serious thought, even though he never presented it. What was different? The program paid attention. He didn't act out or seek attention. All he wanted to do was construct things correctly. They also let him that room. At that point, Tom's function changed from being only the contractor to becoming a key figure in the real operation of the program. And there was weight in that voice. However, not all of the difficulties were related to production politics. The show had a devastating loss in 2018. While going for a shoot, Austin Wilson, a young crew member whom Tom had personally coached and recruited to the squad, passed quite unexpectedly. It wasn't only a team defeat for Tom. It was intimate. Austin was more than simply a coworker. He was like family. Tom thought of withdrawing entirely since the grief was so great. But eventually, with the help of Austin's family and the crew, he returned. He felt obligated to continue, not because he had to, but because he owed it to the team, the audience, and perhaps even to himself. Tom has always stood out for his sense of duty. Building for the camera is not his style. He enjoys building because it's his passion. The audience trusts him because of his sincerity and dedication to doing things well. It's also the reason why the team and the audience resisted when producers tried to bring in younger, more flamboyant faces. The man who taught them how to measure for a replacement window and hang siding was someone they didn't want to lose. They desired the steady presence, the person who always had the answers yet never sought attention. Tom gradually assumed progressively more behind-the-scenes responsibilities. In addition to swinging a hammer, he was establishing technical standards, coaching the next generation, and assisting in project selection. Charlie Silva, his nephew, found his spot on the show in this way. He was not given a role by Tom. He made sure he was prepared by first testing him on minor jobs. Like everything Tom does, it was a discreet handoff based on competence and trust. Even at the age of 77, he continues to labor, walking construction sites, inspecting framing, and ensuring that the work satisfies the standards he has upheld throughout his life. He is not after fame. This isn't a goodbye tour for him. The work still matters, so he's doing it because it matters. And to be honest, that type of commitment is uncommon in a world full of shortcuts and quick fixes. Let's go on. Tom Silva is more than simply the man you see on TV wielding a hammer. He has essentially served as the foundation for all of the significant renovations this historic home has undergone over the years. And by major, we mean projects that call for structural choices, blueprint-level thinking, and the kind of backstage juggling act that would put most individuals in retirement. From choosing the appropriate materials to ensuring that everything works on TV without, collapsing in the middle of the shot, Tom has been in control of everything. Even if his title isn't very noteworthy, the team is aware of who is in charge. It's the flannel-clad man holding a game plan in one hand and a tape measure in the other. From Bob Vila to Steve Thomas and now Kevin O'Connor, the host has changed throughout the years, but Tom has remained the one constant. Like your favorite well-worn tool, he never rusts and continues to function and appear. Over time, he evolved from a contractor to a man who ensures that everything runs well, both professionally and practically. It was rather obvious that Tom wasn't merely a member of the team when Norm Abrams left in 2022. He was the glue that held the squad together. He was not just retained by the producers. He was requested to oversee the construction, arrange the season schedule, and assist in shaping the projects. Because after you've done something correctly for this long, people simply say, "Okay, yeah, you're in charge now." If you watched any of the Brookline, Westford, or Ridgewood seasons from 2021 to 2025, you can probably bet that Tom's fingerprints were all over them. Not only in woodworking, but also in project planning, safety setup, and even ensuring that the crew's equipment could handle HD cameras and sawdust. Additionally, Tom had the unique power to choose his own successor, unlike most others on set. He didn't decide on that in a week, of course. Nope, he tested the waters first, as is customary. His nephew Charlie Silva got off to a bad start. Calmer jobs, smaller tasks. And only after establishing his worth did Tom progressively elevate him to the position of principal builder. Silva style, nothing ostentatious. No family favors, just earned respect. Tom, however, didn't end with Charlie. He has also been the go-to person for other experts, such as Heath with electrical work, Jen with landscaping, and Mero with finishing. Basically, Tom has most likely checked it twice if it plugs in, sprouts roots, or requires a second coat. He has also taken on even more since 2020, assisting in the training of the upcoming generation of skilled workers by collaborating with nearby trade schools and this Ancient Houses Generation Next program. He attends forums, serves on advisory boards, and yet finds time to demonstrate tools to children who are still learning the difference between a lunchbox and a level. It's crazy that Tom has remained in a world where shows like Socks frequently replace their cast members. Constantly in demand, steady, and crisp. According to PBS surveys, he is one of the network's most adored characters, particularly among devoted viewers who have been following since the days of disco. But nostalgia isn't the only factor in his attraction. It's that uncommon combination of patience and expertise, and the capacity to describe intricate tasks without ever coming across as arrogant. That alone is a skill. Tom Silva and his brother were just two guys with a toolbox, high standards, and no tolerance for careless shortcuts until they were featured on national television as the faces of workmanship. Silva Brothers Construction, their company, did not become well known by following trends or making quick fixes. They constructed their name in the same level, sturdy manner that they construct homes, and with everything in its proper place. Some very well-known companies later took notice of their reputation for careful craftsmanship, including WGBH-TV, which trusted them to construct the Victory Garden set. Yes, Tom was establishing the groundwork for one of the most enduring careers in instructional television, while other contractors were busy repairing decks. As it happened, the employment was more than simply another job. Producer Russell Marash became aware of Tom as a result. And where's my level before you say that? He was asked to assist with this old house, a brand new small experiment. Tom joined a Greek revival remodeling project in Dorchester, Massachusetts as a subcontractor. People quickly discovered, however, that this was more than just a man with hammer skills. He had the unique ability to make difficult tasks seem simple and complex solutions seem like common sense. He was formally confirmed as the show's long-term contractor in 1988. Since then, nobody has even considered taking his place. In a world that seldom stays the same, Tom established himself as a constant over the ensuing 4 decades. Hairlines faded, hosts came and went, and tool technology advanced. But Tom remained constant, handling one difficult project after another with his signature steady hand and straightforward style. His fingerprints may be seen on hundreds of PBS makeovers, ranging from large historic restorations to charming colonial homes. One beam at a time, he was conserving legacies rather than only constructing homes. At Weatherby Farm near Westwood in the late 1990s, he faced one of his most remarkable trials. Imagine an old, timber-framed house with a sloping roof that seems ready to give way with a deep breath. Similar to doing orthopedic surgery while maintaining a patient-looking runway, Tom and his colleagues had to figure out how to strengthen the building without sacrificing its historic elegance. Of course, he succeeded. Because Tom takes out his pencil and begins drawing solutions when others are in a panic. However, his impact extends well beyond the workplace. Additionally, Tom has devoted years to transforming his acquired expertise into something that people can truly utilize. He frequently answers questions from readers who have likely taken on more drywall than they can handle for this old house magazine. His guidance is clear-cut, useful, and refreshingly devoid of technical terms. He writes as he constructs, clearly, firmly, and with the ideal quantity of encouragement that you've got. Additionally, his art was used in classrooms. His advice, methods, and how-to breakdowns are used as teaching resources at trade schools throughout New England. As a matter of fact, if Tom says this is the proper way to install crown molding, then that is the correct method. He co-wrote the Homeowner's Manual and Complete Remodeling in 2004, 2 volumes that are a staple on the bookshelves of any serious do-it-yourselfer. Adjacent to the coffee-stained blueprints and the screw bag they promised to sort out eventually. It took more than just stepping onto a set for Tom Silva to become well-known. He merited it. 1 production meeting, 1 project, 1 column, and 1 difficult discussion at a time. He developed his profession in the same method that he constructs a house. Patiently, skillfully, and without taking any shortcuts. He is still working on the job site at the age of 77. He is because he wants to be, not because he must. No big exit, no retirement announcements. It's just another day of doing what he loves, giving confidence to others, and perhaps leaving some younger guys wondering how he still gets around them. To be honest, you most likely believed that Tom Silva was going to hang up his tools and retire. Give up thinking. Silva essentially stated, "No, I'm still in a conversation with internal production earlier this year." He affirmed that he will remain with the team for upcoming seasons. Yes, we are still working on those huge rehabilitation projects in Ridgewood and Westford. Hold on, things will get better. The man does more than simply restore homes. He also renovates expectations. Behind the scenes at Silva Brothers Construction, he has been silently pulling strings as you watch him wielding hammers and dropping wisdom like it's drywall. He maintains strategic control over the company's long-term choices from 2022 to 2024, even as he handed over management to his nephew Charlie, who is presumably still double-checking everything before presenting it to Tom. Don't be deceived by Tom's seeming retreat from the daily grind. He still attends strategic meetings, makes the ultimate decision on high-stakes, top-secret initiatives, and selects technical staff as if he were casting a heist film. Charlie, don't put any strain on yourself. Did you believe that he no longer made the important decisions? Please guess whose opinion still matters when it comes to allocating resources, upgrading equipment, or deciding whether to purchase that shiny new excavator. Tom's. As a senior counselor and a master translator. Without having to deal with paperwork or chase down invoices, he can continue doing the interesting things. We refer to that as a win-win. Oh, and he does more than simply build homes. The industry is being built by him. Tom is the go-to person for several Massachusetts trade associations. Because who does the Northeast Regional Council for Building and Remodeling call when they need to increase training or safety standards? Ghostbusters? No, Silva's called. The man contributed to the development of a technological database for self-employed craftsmen. In other words, if you're in Massachusetts and you're holding a nail gun, chances are Silva has helped write your how-to manual. And you know what? Tom also contributed to the development of some of Boston's post-COVID construction code modifications. He is literally altering the rules rather than merely keeping up. How is he managing all of this at the age of 77? In a nutshell, ordered chaos. All right, perhaps 3 more. Knowledge, insight, and coffee. With his career spanning production, engineering, mentoring, and consulting, Tom has a great setup. It resembles a leadership seminar combined with a remodeling show and a think tank. In essence, he has figured out how veterans can continue to contribute without experiencing burnout. Additionally, Tom, the magician, has always been a really private person. Just him and Susan, his wife since the late 1970s, with no glitzy red carpets or salacious headlines, and their comfortable suburban Boston home from the 19th century. It feels right, to be honest. While others strive for celebrity, Tom has been subtly creating a more solid legacy. Does Tom Silva appear to be slowing down? Only if you consider going between projects to be a slowdown. The man still has designs on his mind and sawdust in his veins. We wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. There is more to Tom Silva's home than just his residence. It's a loving labor. He and his family have been gradually renovating it over the years, transforming it into a kind of silent masterpiece. It's the type of home you see in this vintage home magazine, not because it's ostentatious, but rather because it's well thought out, thoughtful, and heartfelt. Although one may think that his children, Kate and TJ, would follow in his tool-belted footsteps, they have chosen to go in a different direction. They don't work in construction or television, but they can help when the family business needs it. They work directly behind the scenes to keep things running properly, particularly in the media and banking industries. It turns out that Tom's house is a tangible representation of his entire work philosophy. Always construct with a purpose, enhance what makes sense, and preserve what counts. That's precisely why the Massachusetts Council on Historic Preservation invited him to speak at a symposium on historic renovation. He talked about how he focused on sustainability when renovating his own home, preserving the house's original character while making efficient use of available space. It was a deliberate reinvention rather than merely a renovation. The project was so successful that it is now formally recognized as a model of properly executed non-commercial restoration in the state's architectural archives. The problem with Tom, though, is that he doesn't chase attention. He is renowned for maintaining the privacy of his personal life while concentrating his public activities on craftsmanship and education. He's the one who says, "Let's keep it about the work, not about me," which has been the rule since 2005, according to his crew. And that's one of the reasons he's so well liked. He has no desire in becoming famous. All he wants is to work hard and support others in doing the same. Tom is also subtly engaged on a very significant project behind the scenes. He collaborates with charitable organizations that teach occupational skills to youth, particularly those from underprivileged backgrounds. Although he isn't making a big deal out of it on social media or giving interviews about it, his name is featured as a professional advisor in their annual reports. What precisely does he do? A little bit of everything, including evaluating training materials, assisting them in determining what equipment they require, and occasionally even physically demonstrating methods. Tom is more than just a famous builder in the trades world. He is a voice of reason, a mentor, and an example. His guidelines are today regarded as the gold standard for responsible, safe, and effective construction. And that's what makes Tom Silva unique. Not only does he construct homes, but he also contributes to the construction of futures in a calm, reliable, and honest manner. It's quite remarkable when you consider it. Some technical high schools in Massachusetts now really include Tom Silva's work in their curricula. Students are studying videos from this historic house to learn how to build, making use of his projects as examples. His work has gained that level of credibility. It's classroom-worthy as well as TV-worthy. And this is what truly sets Tom apart. He has never made an effort to gain notoriety. You won't see him doing power tool advertisements or at glamorous home expos. He isn't attempting to build his identity into a brand or pursue endorsement arrangements. It's a deliberate decision. In order to concentrate on the task and the people who perform it, he has always said no to the noise. Isn't that uncommon these days? Tom Silva is still out there constructing homes, instructing people, and remaining loyal to his profession during a time when everyone is attempting to get popularity or go viral. He is evidence that you may have a significant impact without being noisy. He is not only respected but also admired for his calm consistency and profound integrity. He is the type of person who always shows up, completes tasks correctly, and never takes short routes. And for decades, he has been doing it. When tradespeople see Tom, they see more than simply a skilled builder. They perceive someone who is a living example of pride in one's work. Someone who knows that why you do something a certain manner is just as important as how you do it. So, yes, Tom Silva endures even while trends change. A firm presence, an authentic craftsman, and to be honest, a reminder that doing things correctly is still important in a world when shortcuts are the norm. You already know why people like Tom are worthy of celebration if you have ever enjoyed the scent of sawdust, the sound of a hammer striking precisely, or the satisfaction of a job well done. And perhaps share this type of story if it resonates with you. Because often the quiet ones leave the biggest legacy, share it with someone who understands the importance of good work and good people.